Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you for going through our lecture series on the different communication models. At this point, let me summarize the entire lecture for you in a video that you can go back to anytime in preparation for a face to face discussion next week. Let's start off with our objectives for this video presentation. First, we'll identify the three common communication models. Second, we'll differentiate the models in terms of depth, form, and complexity. And number three, we'll enumerate the strengths and limitations of each model. So as you can see, we have three basic communication models based on Wood's interpersonal communication book. These are the linear model, the interactive model, and the transactional model. We'll go through each model very quickly and discuss their essences and their limitations. Are you ready? The first model of interpersonal communication depicted communication as a linear or a one-way process in which one person acts on another person. This was a verbal model that consisted of five questions describing a sequence of acts that make up communication. It asked the questions who, says what, in what channel, to whom, and with what effect. A year later, Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver offered a revised model that added the feature of noise. Earlier in our online lecture, we noted that noise is anything that interferes with communication. Noise might be spam in online communication, like regional accent, or background conversation in the workplace. These earlier linear models had serious shortcomings. They portrayed a communication as flowing in only one direction, from a sender to a passive receiver. This implies that listeners never send messages and that they absorb only passively what speakers say. But this isn't how communication really occurs. Listeners nod, frown, smile, look bored or interested, and so forth, and they actively work to make sense of others' messages. Linear models also erred by representing communication as a sequence of actions, in which one step, like listening, follows an earlier step, like talking. In actual interaction, however, speaking and listening often occur simultaneously or they overlap. Finally, this model implies that the sender is the center of the communication process, which is very not true. The interactive model portrayed communication as a process in which listeners give feedback, which is a response to a message. In addition, interactive models recognize that communicators create and interpret messages within personal fields of experience. The more communicators' fields of experience overlap, the better that they can understand each other. When fields of experience don't overlap enough, misunderstandings may occur. Although the interactive model is an improvement over the linear model, it still portrays communication as a sequential process in which one person is a sender and another is a receiver. Let's see why. In reality, everyone who is involved in communication both sends and receives messages. Interactive model also fails to capture the dynamic nature of interpersonal communication and the ways it changes over time. Second, though cyclical, it is still sequential and it follows a specific step by step. And third, it doesn't consider the presence of noise or interference. The transactional model of interpersonal communication is more accurate because it emphasizes the dynamism of interpersonal communication and the multiple roles people assume during the process. In addition, this model includes the feature of time to call our attention to the fact that messages, noise, and fields of experience vary over time. The transactional model recognizes that noise is present throughout the interpersonal communication. In addition to this, each communicator's field of experience and the shared field of experience between communicators changes over time. Also, this model says that as we encounter new people and have new experiences that broaden our outlooks, we experience and we change how we interact with others. As we get to know others over time, relationships may become more informal and become more intimate. The transactional model also makes it clear that communication occurs within systems that affect what and how people communicate and what meanings are created. Those systems or contexts include the shared systems of both communicators, your shared social networking sites, your campus, your town, your workplace, your religion, your social groups, and your culture, as well as the personal systems of each person, like your family, your religious associations, your preferences, gender, mood, and friends. Finally, we should emphasize that the transactional model doesn't label one person a sender and the other a receiver. Instead, both people are defined as communicators who participate equally and often simultaneously in the communication process. This means that at a given moment in communication, you may be sending a message, like speaking or nodding your head, and receiving a message, or doing both at the same time, interpreting what someone says while nodding to show you are interested. The transactional nature of interpersonal communication implies that communicators share responsibility for effective communication. So there you go. Our three basic communication models. We have the linear model, the interactive model, and the transactional model. Feel free to review this video and take as many notes as you can. When we meet in class next week, we're going to have a quiz on this area of study. Thank you for watching and listening. See you again next week. Remember to communicate well.